And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at RU, or Ryu, or however you pronounce it. This is a game about dragons, about building dragons. And I was really interested in this one because the artwork looked cool, and there was, inside this game, there is a mechanism, which is one of my favorites. That's the I split, you choose. You know, you're both fighting over a piece of cake. Then you say, okay, fine, I'll cut the cake in half, but you get to pick which piece you eat. Fair enough, right? Let's see how it works in this game. So what we have here is each player has their own dragon. I guess it's a dragon that's turned into a blimp. Whatever. Anyway, you're going to be building these dragons. So they're not going to start looking as neat as they are here. Instead, each dragon is going to come in pieces. A, B, C, D, and E. And so you have these pieces and they're not even built yet. You're going to have to build each piece, and you have to build them in order. So to build piece A, you're going to need 3 orange cubes, 3 blue cubes, or 3 purple cubes. While piece B is an orange, blue, and purple, then 3 of one of the kinds, 1 of each, and then 1 of each plus 2 yellows. So the first person to build their entire dragon wins the game. At the beginning of the game, you're going to make a ring of the different islands. Each player has an island. If that player is not in the game, that island will still go out just without the marking on it so that you don't know that it's a player's. That's where their dragon is going to start. And so these are kind of randomly put out here in the middle. Now on your turn, you have 3 actions that you can take, or actually have multiple actions depending on where you go. But first, you can move 0 to 3 tiles and take an action. Or you can move more than that and not take an action. Now when you take an action, usually you're going to explore an island. If you're on an opponent's island, or an island nobody owns, that's one of the player colors, you can explore it. You have to pay a yellow cube. Players will have different color cubes. And you'll flip the tile over to show that it can't be explored again until it's reflipped. You'll get one of these merchant tokens, and you will then go to that player. That player is going to have a token here in front of them. You're going to look. Does it show 4 cubes or 5 cubes? You'll flip it first, and then do either 4 cubes or 5 cubes. So it will keep getting flipped back. If it's 4 cubes, in the bag, you will draw 4 cubes. You will put these cubes in the middle of the table, and then you will take 1 cube. The person whose island it is will take 2 cubes, and then you will take the last cube. If it's 5 cubes that come out of the bag, then they will be put in the middle. The person whose island it is will split them into 2 groups. Maybe that group, or maybe those 2 groups, or even something weird like this. They'll split it into 2 groups. You pick 1 group, and they get the other group. Each player will have a shield where they'll be able to keep these behind them, and that's what will happen. Now, when the last player one is flipped over, so let's say this player won, this player won, this player won, this player one's flipped over. When this one's flipped over, the other ones all unflip. Then the other spots in the play board, you'll be able to get more merchant tiles, or spend merchant tiles, or pirate tiles to get different things. Here you can see you can spend 3 merchant tiles to get one of these tokens, which is essentially a wild cube. You also can spend 3 pirate tokens here to get 2 cubes from the bag. And if you look down here, on this one here, you'll see that you can spend 2 yellow coins, 2 yellow cubes to get one of those wild ones, or 1 of each to get a yellow cube. And there's different things that you can do and spend your cubes on. Now when drawing from the bag, every once in a while, you will draw the white cube. There's different cubes in the bag, but there's only 1 white cube. As an action, a player can use one of the island things, or they can build their part of the dragon, and as they do so, they'll be throwing cubes into the middle. Yellow cubes are used to explore, the other cubes are used to build the dragon pieces. When the white cube shows up, everyone's going to bid, and the person who gets the white cube will also be bidding. They have to bid cubes, blind bidding, in their hand. The person who gets the white cube has to bid at least that cube, and whoever bids the most will get to build a part of their dragon for free, and then all the cubes from the middle and from the winning bidder and the white cube all will go back in the bag, and we keep going. This process will continue until one person has completely built their dragon. At that point, that person's the winner. Now this game is a hard one to tell from looking at it how good it is, because When I set it up and when I went over the rules, when I looked at it, everything looked like it worked well. In fact, the game says on it 45 minutes, and that is correct. The game takes about 45 minutes. Unfortunately, that's about twice as long as it needs to be. The worst problem with RU is that it simply is boring. Now, hear me out. I like the idea of drawing 4 cubes. I pick 1, you pick 2, I pick 1. Or I pick 5, you split them, and I take them. That's interesting once. Doing it multiple times, with all the cubes honestly being the same, except the yellow cubes and the white cube, they're all the same, and they're cubes. They're just, give me some cubes, I'll turn these cubes in. Give me some cubes, I'll turn the cubes in. Give me some cubes. But it takes a while. And then there's there's the pirate disc and the merchant disc, and the wild disc. Why it's a wild disc and not a cube is beyond me. But you're collecting those things. You can only have 5 of each of those. And then you got to flip the tiles over and flip the other tile over. And it's a little fiddly for what it is. It's supposed to be a quick type game. But it's not. It's kind of like flip a tile over. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to here. I'll get some cubes. And I got some cubes. And you get some cubes. And I got some cubes. And now let's build this. And I normally like simple games like this. I mean, that's how Splendor is. Splendor's collect some chips and do it. But Splendor moves at a pace like this. This game doesn't, because when you're not involved, you're kind of just waiting. Okay, you can't even plan ahead because you don't know what things are there. And sometimes your turn is essentially, I'm going to turn these cubes in, build my part of the dragon. Done. Now it's your turn. I'm going to move my dragon, but where? And all the dragons are exactly the same, the beautiful artwork, but they all need the same number of cubes. Each piece of the body needs the same number of cubes. They just flip-flop back and forth between needing 3 of one and 1 of 3. This was a major dud. I have yet to meet anyone in my group who liked it at all. That could be groupthink, possibly. My group is very diverse. There's people who like games who don't. But no one really enjoyed this one. And even myself, I was just like, I wanted to like it. I was like, I will like this game. And I just couldn't. The rulebook also is not the best. I mean, it took me a while to figure out what each of the 3 discs were. And the setup was annoying because they tell you how to set up and then they show you a picture of the middle of the game. You should show, if you're going to take a picture of setup, show me a picture of how setup should look. That's minor stuff though. The biggest sin this game has is it looks gorgeous, but it's just window dressing. There's nothing really underneath. There's some interesting ideas, but they're small ideas, not enough to carry the game on their own, and you just repeat them over and over for 45 minutes until mercifully the game ends. Dice Tower Judgment, long and tedious.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!
There.